The elected representatives of the United States never cease to amaze me with their total lack of intellect. Sometimes it's because they're clueless about things as simple as economics and socialism. But the other day, something happened that I think is worth talking about. You may have seen it. It was the opening day of the 117th Congress, January 3rd, 2020. And Representative Emanuel Cleaver had the opportunity to pray to open the session. And as he ended his prayer, he ended it with, "Amen and Awoman." I want to show you some of that clip just in case you haven't had the opportunity to see it. Let's watch some of this, and then we're going to talk about it for a little bit here.
Now and evermore, we ask it in the name of the monotheistic God, Brahma, and God known by many names, by many different faiths. Amen and Awoman.
Okay, so amen and Awoman. What was that all about? That to me is beyond ridiculous. I mean, when I was a little kid, I knew that amen meant the prayer is ending. It had nothing to do with gender. And it was just something that was said. It was approval. The common definition that people understand, it just means so be it. You know, you hear it in church. People say, amen, I'm agreeing with what you're saying. At the end of the prayer, amen, I agree with what I just said, or I agree with what somebody else said. So why would he end the prayer with amen and Awoman? There's two possible reasons. The first one is that maybe this guy has no idea what the term actually means, which really wouldn't be all that surprising unfortunately, for a member of Congress. But this guy is supposed to be a Methodist minister. He was a pastor at one time. He has a Master of Divinity degree from St. Paul's School of Theology in Kansas City, and he used to pastor at St. James Methodist Church in Kansas City. So he's got to know what it means. If not, he must have been a terrible pastor. I don't know anything about his pastoring, but surely he knows what amen means. The second possibility that he meant was that he was just trying to be cute. And this is actually what he said he was doing. And I want to show you the statement he made to Snopes. Now, Snopes, take it for what it's worth. Just because it's on Snopes doesn't mean it's right. But I don't think they're going to be purposely siding against this guy. He's a Democrat. And so I want to show you this thing that they put on their website. And this was a statement from Emanuel Cleaver to Snopes. He says, "I'm deeply disappointed that my prayer has been misinterpreted and misconstrued by some to fit a narrative that stokes resentment and greater division among portions of our population. I believe prayers to be a personal conversation between El Shaddai and the invocator. With this conversation, in the presence of the 117th House of Representatives, I concluded with a lighthearted pun in recognition of the number of women who will be representing the American people in Congress during this time, as well as in recognition of the first female chaplain of the House of Representatives whose services commenced this week. I personally find these historic occasions to be blessings from God for which I am grateful." So that was his statement. He was just trying to be cute. He thought this was make a nice little pun, a nice little funny to start Congress off. Well, I have a couple of comments about that. First is you are going to stand up in front of the House of Representatives of the United States of America, offer up a prayer, and give a pun that stupid? I mean, you've got to be kidding me. I've said a few things from the pulpit that I wish I could have taken back. I thought maybe it was funny and it went over like a lead balloon. But these people have these prayers all written out. They know exactly what they're going to say. He actually planned to say something like this, apparently. I just think that is ridiculous, if not bordering on blasphemy. And the second thing I want to say about him trying to make a little pun, trying to be a little bit funny here, was that I wonder if in part it was fueled by these ridiculous rules that Pelosi and her clan came up with for this Congress. They came up with these plans. If you haven't read, they're changing the rules of the House and removing gender language from it. No more he and she and husband, father, mother, that kind of thing. It's all very generic. It's so ridiculous because what they're trying to do is they're trying to pander to the society that we have that doesn't even understand that boys and girls are different. I mean, I knew that when I was like 3 or 4 years old. It's not that hard to figure out. But these people that don't have the intelligence to figure that out are the ones that are running our country. So maybe he was trying to be funny, but at this time when everyone's on edge, at this time when they're trying to remove the difference between men and women from everyone's thoughts, from their ideology, I think it was very, very poor attempt at a joke from this man who not only was a pastor, but is also a representative in the United States. Now, one more thing I want to notice about this, if you look at his comment to Snopes, he mentions El Shaddai. He says, I believe prayers to be a personal conversation between El Shaddai and the invocator or invocator. I'm not sure if I'm saying that word quite right. Let me know in the comments, will you? Maybe I need to look that word up. But who is El Shaddai? El Shaddai is the God of the Bible. El Shaddai is the one we know of as Jehovah. But then, right after he says that, he makes a reference to Brahma. Brahma? Where do you get that? Well, Brahma is a Hindu god and also was a leading god in Buddhism. Well, you can't pray to that god and to the God of the Bible. You can't mix the two. They're two totally different gods. You can't do it. So either this guy is blatantly trying to pander to a certain segment of society, or he has no clue what he's talking about. And I would hope that being a graduate of a seminary with a Master of Divinity degree and having pastored a church, I would hope that he knows what he's talking about. So we can only assume the opposite. So there you have it, folks. What our Congress has become. It's either a place to make irreverently stupid jokes or to promote an ideology that is totally contrary to the Bible and to common sense. So what do you think? Do you think that Cleaver was way off in his remarks here? Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear what you have to say. God bless you. I'll see you next time.